So today's Keeping It Real is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to just summarize some responses that Chris Kelly gave to the New York Times in regards to a recent article that was published about real estate agents and commissions. And Chris just really drove it home. And for those of you, I think most of you know now, Chris Kelly is the new CEO of Home Service of America. He's not new to the company. He's been around for about 20 years. Gino tapped him on the shoulder a few years ago and brought him up under his wing. And as of a few weeks ago, he's now our new CEO here at Home Service of America. But what I want to share with you this message, because I think it's important for you to understand where Chris's head is at and the tone that he takes. So I'm going to share a summary of his response to the New York Times article, and just hopefully you see and feel how powerful this is, as do I. It's a clear sign that Chris is tuned in. He's ready to meet head on what the media and the industry are going to throw at us. So again, the facts I'm going to walk you through are straight from Chris. They can absolutely be used in conversations with buyers and sellers. So, without delay, let's dive in. First, Chris dives into clarifying the misinformation, and I love this. Now, most of this but I'm just going to share with you, again, this is coming from leadership at the highest level. The New York Times podcast had claimed that agents are finding a way around the NAR settlement to maintain their standard commission rates, and it's simply not true. In fact, the opposite's actually happening. Now more than ever, commissions are being negotiated openly between agents. They also claim that sellers are no longer allowed to offer compensation to buyers' agents. Again, false. The NAR settlement does not ban this. It only removes the requirements to advertise it in the MLS. So here's what the NAR settlement actually does. It eliminates the rule that says buyer's agent compensation must be posted in the MLS. But compensation can still be offered just through other channels like listing agreements or broker-to-broker communication. And more importantly, it moves commission discussions into a more transparent, contract-based conversation, not just a pre-filled field in a system. Now, then there was misrepresentation of agent behavior. And here's the truth. Agents and consumers are working within the rules. They're having honest, open, and free market discussions based on value, not collusion. So why do commissions still exist? Because real estate is extremely complex. It's hard. You know this. You work in it every single day. And our clients rely on us. We rely on us for our expertise in contracts, inspections, pricing strategy, negotiations, and problem solving. The list goes on. And sellers are still offering buyer agent commissions, not because they have to, but because it attracts qualified buyers and keeps deals moving forward. It's just smart market behavior. It's not regulatory evasion. So there's a new consumer dynamic. What's happening now is a positive shift. Buyers and sellers are having early, direct conversations about services and fees. They're having more clarity, more transparency, and there's fewer surprises at closing. And that's a massive win for everybody. Other factors at play, and let's not forget, commissions are also shaped by things like, inventory, interest rates, competition, tech platforms. In hot markets, commissions might rise to be competitive. Slower ones, they might dip. Look, folks, it's a market. It's how it works. So let's get into legal and media mischaracterization. Now, some legal commentators say persistent commissions are proof the settlement is weak, and that's very misleading. The truth is, the settlement marks one of the biggest overhauls in our industry in decades. And at its core, it's about freedom to negotiate and consumer transparency. So our responsibility moving forward, we need to ensure that we're using written agreements. We need to remove commission disclosures from the MLS. And we need to continually step up our compliance and our training. And what will these changes do? They're going to raise the bar ethically and professionally. And the final takeaway, Chris talks about what it all comes down to. The market's continued use of cooperative compensation because it works for consumers. It delivers value. This new model, it's about transparency, choice, and integrity. And if we embrace it, it will strengthen trust in real estate like never before. Now let me bring this home. This is our parent company talking. They're standing strong and they're standing with us. They're standing beside us. Just because they've been quiet the last couple of years doesn't mean they weren't there, and it doesn't mean they weren't listening. Behind the scenes, they've been putting these pieces in place for quite some time. And now we are positioned better than ever to lead and to take our markets back. So let me ask you, where are you at? How are you feeling? What are your limiting beliefs? And what do you need from Berkshire, from me, as we move into this next chapter, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services? Because let me tell you, the smoke has cleared. Chris is at the wheel, and we're heading into a new direction. So I've got 2 words for you. You ready? Buckle